Alrighty, and a very warm welcome to everyone joining us today for our Parents and Guardians Guide to Clearing. So we're going to be with you for the next hour or so to chat through all things clearing from a guardian's perspective. Our lovely panel today consists of staff from teams right throughout the university. We'll each explain a little bit about how any student considering applying to UofG through clearing will be supported and made safe during their time with us. So my name is Amy. I'm Outreach and External Engagement Coordinator at the University of Glasgow for the Dumfries campus. And I'm going to let the rest of our panel introduce themselves as well. We'll start with Kirsten.
Hi there, everyone. I'm Kirsten Swankie. I'm Head of Admissions here at Glasgow.
Thank you so much. And we'll go to Ellen.
Hi, I'm Ellen Thompson from Accommodation Services.
Thank you so much. And we'll go to Anusha.
Hi, I'm Anusha. I've just graduated from my undergraduate degree in geography here at Glasgow, and I'm about to start my master's here as well. And I applied through clearing in 2020.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And we'll go to Chris.
Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Finlay. I'm a Chief Advisor of Studies, so one of the key elements of student support that we offer at the University of Glasgow.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. We'll have a presentation for each of our panelists here today, followed by Q&A with all of us. So please, everyone, sit back, relax, and I'm going to hand over to Kirsten, first of all, to begin with our presentations.
Thanks so much, Amy. And yeah, great to see you all here at this live Q&A today. I'm just going to go over some of the admissions aspects of the clearing process. So on your qualification results day, you may find yourself in an unexpected position. You may actually have better results than you expected. Unfortunately, it may be that your results have not met the threshold for unconditional offer at your firm or insurance choice, or you may be rethinking those firm or insurance choices in their entirety. So clearing gives you the opportunity to browse all existing vacancies across the UK and secure fast decisions because you are now in receipt of your complete academic profile as you have your final exam results. Clearing is open now and vacancies will remain open until mid to late August and even later in some universities. Vacancies are listed for any programme that is not yet full. At Glasgow, we will update our vacancy lists next on the 6th of August, which is SQA Results Day, and on the 15th of August, A-Level Results Day. Please note, however, that if programmes do reach capacity, they will close out with these review dates. So do apply as early as you can once you have your results. Applications for clearing are made to universities directly. Those universities will then advise you as to how you can accept your place, and this will be dependent on your UCAS status. At Glasgow, you can make an application on our website. That application should take no more than 10 minutes to complete, and we focus the application on your personal details. This will include things like your UCAS status, where you normally live, your nationality, whether you've applied to us before, and then we'll ask some detailed questions about your qualifications. If you're applying as an international student and will require a visa to study in the UK, we'll also ask you to confirm your English language qualifications. You can upload documents to support your application. It is useful to include any qualification certificates that you have obtained. But if you are studying SQA hires or advanced hires or A-levels, we will receive verification of these qualifications directly from UCAS. So you don't have to worry too much about upload if that's the case. We would encourage you to provide full and complete information in the clearing application wherever you can. You may be disappointed in a particular result and may not want to share that with us, but we're looking at your academic profile holistically. So we really value knowing everything that you've done. And that could include extended projects or additional certificates that you've taken out with school. When we review clearing applications, we'll generally make a decision within 48 hours, but on SQA results day and A-level results day, we will make all decisions within 1 hour. We do understand that clearing can be a really daunting and challenging period. There's heightened emotions at play and life-changing decisions are being made in a really short space of time. So we want to support you to make the right choices. You can contact us with questions across our multiple inquiry channels, and these include our live chat, our inquiry form, and phone lines are available on results days. We also have a chat bot called Gilbert, and he's available to answer your questions 24 hours a day. So if you do wake up with those in the middle of the night concerns, he may be able to help you out. When we make you an offer, we'll provide you with instructions on what you need to do next if you wish to accept. This could include sharing additional documents with us to verify your status. And please note that clearing offers tend to have a relatively short validity period. At Glasgow, we will always give you at least 48 hours to make a decision on whether to accept or not. But for some other institutions, it could be a shorter window. So at that stage, once you've collected offers, it is important for you to weigh up those decisions and consider whether the academic and student life offerings fit with your future aspirations for university. Next slide, please. After we've sent you that offer, we'll follow up with some information on our programmes, student life offerings, and maybe some options on career opportunities after your degree also. Remember that you can contact us with any questions through a variety of channels. You can also request callbacks from our students, our recruitment staff, or even academics to find out more. You can visit our campuses to make sure that university life at Glasgow is really going to be a home away from home. Once you accept your offer, you will become eligible to apply for accommodation, and my colleague Ellen is going to talk you through that process. And within a 5-day window from acceptance, you will be able to begin the online registration and enrolment process too. The final step will be joining us here on our campuses for Welcome Week. And that offers you the opportunity to dive into university life and everything it has to offer before your classes will commence. And that Welcome Week starts on Monday, the 16th of September. We really hope to be welcoming many of you to join Team UofG then. That's everything from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're going to go to Ellen next to hear a little bit more about accommodation.
Thank you, Kirsten. So the principal place to look when we're looking at university accommodation is our webpage, and I believe the address is going to appear along the bottom of the screen shortly. There you will find, there we go, there you will find links to the residence profiles, which has all the details of the individual residences. You'll find details of the fees. There are images and some video tours, guide to applying for accommodation, and the link to the application portal itself. So key things to think about or know about university accommodation is the standard contract is 39 weeks. That takes you through from September to June, and that's all that you need for an academic year, and you do not need to clear your university accommodation at Christmas or Easter time. The room is yours for the duration of the contract. The majority of our residences are self-catered residences. Most are configured in flats of between 3 and 12 bedrooms. The exception to that, if moving out is one step, but cooking their own dinner is a step too far, then the accommodation choice would be Wolfson Hall. That is our one catered residence that we have in Glasgow, situated on the Gascube estate. Within the portfolio, we have standard rooms and ensuite options. The majority of the residences are 0 to 25 minutes walk from main campus in Glasgow, or a short walk or bus ride from campus in Dumfries. Now, you may not be aware that we have a scheme in Scotland, the Young Person's Bus Travel Scheme. If you have an address in Scotland, which you would if you were in residences, and you're lucky enough to be under the age of 22, distant memory for myself, then you are entitled to free travel on the bus. Now, that is not limited to the town or city that you live in. That is throughout Scotland, so hopefully you'll have the chance to explore and see a bit of the country while you live here. Your accommodation fees include all your utility bills, Wi-Fi, and some personal contents insurance. And also, as you see there, round-the-clock support. Now, that comes in the form of your site teams, who from a day-to-day, they'll help with repairs and maintenance and just practical things around about the site. You have a support network on campus, peer-to-peer support, help from registry, financing queries from the student services team, and also in residences, the majority of cases live in, we have the Res Life team. Now, the Res Life team are current staff and students. They literally have been there, done that, and have the T-shirt and the hoodie, Residence Life team. They are there for any settling in, orientating yourself around the site. They help with practical things. They're on duty every evening and all weekend. So if you have the misfortune of locking yourself out of your accommodation, they can help you get back in. They also do a bit of, they run events and just general support. All of those things that you think is a big step moving away from home potentially and into your own accommodation. And if you need reassurance on anything, they're the people to seek out because they've walked the walk. So they're a great resource that we have in residences. Could I have the next slide, please? Thank you. So this is what the application portal looks like, Accommodation Online. Now, from a point of acceptance of your offer of study, it can take around 72 hours for your details to appear in the Accommodation Online database, which allows you to apply. So once you've accepted that offer of study, please just be patient. You'll see the link on the webpage of how to get in here. If it says student not recognised, just keep trying over the next few hours or perhaps the next day, and you should be able to get onto the system online to apply. The first step is to register. And as it says there, if you can please keep a note of the username and password that you create when you do register, because you need that to log back into the portal to accept any offer of accommodation. And it's also where you manage your stay with us. So it's important that you keep a note of those details. In terms of application, the first stage in the application page is what type of applicant are you? So please select clearing or clearing Dumfries. Then further on in the application, there'll be an additional information section, and that's for things, for example, you need a fridge for the storage of medical equipment. If you can note that down there, or perhaps you need a ground floor room for a mobility issue. That's the type of information. Just give us as much as you can in that additional information box and we'll do our best to accommodate that for you. If you do need a fridge for medical reasons, then we supply that free of charge. When you get your offer of accommodation, which will come by email, so again, keep checking that email and perhaps add our email address to your trusted email addresses, you'd be asked to make a £600 prepayment. Now that is not a deposit that's returned to you, rather it is an advanced rent payment. And the rest of the accommodation fees, that's all you would pay up front, is the £600 to secure your offer. The rest of your accommodation fees are added to the student's My Campus account on or shortly after the accommodation contract start date. And then fees are then paid normally across 7 instalments between October and April. Also, one final point to note about your accommodation offer, it will have a deadline. So please accept, please again, check the email and go in, log on and accept or reject that offer by the deadline stated in the offer email. Very important that you do that. And if you have any further questions about accommodation online, then drop us an email to that accom@glasgow.ac.uk email address. And I think I'm now going over back to Amy and then to Chris, I believe. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Ellen. Yeah, we're going to go to Chris next. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amy. Hello, everyone. We were very aware that joining the University of Glasgow or starting your studies in higher education anywhere represents quite a lot of change. And I'm just here to reassure you that nobody is expected to just manage that change themselves. There's lots of support and structure in place and experienced people in place and teams who are able to guide and advise our students throughout. Only one of those is the advisory service, but that's the one I'm here to talk about. So I'm the chief advisor in one of our colleges. We have 4 colleges because we know that advisors are useful contacts for our students to help them figure out how they're going to best engage with their studies, with their degree, with their new undergraduate courses as they continue from September onwards. We're also very aware that advisors can have a really positive impact with students. The best thing about being an advisor is getting to know students as they join us and seeing them progress and succeed as they go through their years. And to be fair, one of the best days of the year is graduation, once you see that change happen and we get to the success at the end of that. So a lot of the advisory service work is really about making sure that things are moving as they should, that we're giving best advice to our students. But ultimately, if a student hits a speed bump or has a challenge, we're also the point of contact where we can help discuss that and we can figure out what our options are. We can think about what is going to be the best way forward for our student, and we can outline all of those options so that the student is in the position where they make the decision that is best for them. So there's a lot of contact normally, especially in the first years of undergraduate study, where advisors and advisees are getting to know each other. And that by far is one of the better parts of the job, I have to admit. Could I have the next slide, please? So as I said a moment ago, we've got 4 colleges. So there's slightly different structures depending upon which college your degree is based within. In half of the colleges, we have advising teams where there is offices and certain staff within those offices that anybody with an advising query can go and talk to. They can contact them in person, they can contact them online, and then you get advice and guidance through that. The other 2 colleges have named advisor of studies. So in the college I'm in, for example, our students have a specific member of staff who's linked to the degree that that student is enrolled onto. And again, they're contactable throughout the year, and they'll actually be asking for set meetings so they get to know their advisees, so that they can again give guidance, answer any questions, make sure that the information is going to our students in the best possible way. And as a challenge arises, they're also there to help sort of link up with the other support services and guide our students appropriately. And can I just have the last slide, please? Thank you. So this is really what we commit to as an advisory service. We're here to make sure that our students are progressing through their degrees in the best way possible. That usually means getting to know our students and getting to know our advisees, because everybody will have different plans, different aspirations for what they want from their degree. It's rare for people to go through the same experience. It's more common that everybody has a unique experience, and advisors can help us navigate that as we go through. It's useful that we get to know each other. We're not that long past graduation, so I'm still very much in reference writing mode for all my advisees. They're all out there trying to find their jobs and careers now, so I'm solidly writing references for that, and it's interesting to see the different directions our students go as well. But ultimately, we're here to help monitor and guide as we go through. The more we meet, the more we get to know with each other, the easier that becomes. It becomes more of an informal relationship, and we're working together to make sure that our students have the best possible outcomes as they go through. But ultimately, we're also there to guide when there are difficulties. And we are very linked into the other support services. So we overlap with a lot of the other support services that you'll hear about as part of this call, because we want to make sure that our student isn't left in the centre without anybody to talk to or anybody to turn to. So we're working with our support services to make sure that doesn't happen. But lastly, the one good thing we have as well is that we can link up our students in first year or second year in the early years with students in later years doing those same degrees, so that they can pick their brains, talk to them, find out what's the best way for them, and make sure that we're still getting all that information to the students so they can decide what's best. The one thing I will say is Teaching Week 0, you've just heard about when the Welcome Week is from Kirsten. That's when the advisory service normally updates student records so that you see what your named contact is and what the email address and how to best contact them. So that happens usually by the 16th of September this year. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris. And now I am delighted to welcome our colleague from the securities team, Jerry. Hello, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm going to let you take it away and tell us a little bit more about securities, and just check that we can unmute you there so we can hear you properly. There we go.
Thanks, Amy.
Thanks so
I'm
much.
Jerry Moore. I'm Jerry Moore, the Security Operations Manager at the University of Glasgow. In my role, I'm entrusted with ensuring the safety and security of our campus community, the staff, students and visitors. As you can see there's our team, and some of our team and me standing proudly in the middle of them. The University of Glasgow security team is a 24/7, 365-day-a-year operation made up of 57 staff consisting of 2 security operational managers, 5 teams in a rotational pattern with 2 security duty managers in each team, 9 security officers plus 2 parking attendants. They're all trained in first aid, mental health, first aid and suicide prevention, and to be honest, there's not any incidents they've not dealt with. They're there for you all year round, all day, and there's nothing they've not dealt with. They're a friendly team. They like to talk. They like to speak to people. So if you want to approach them, don't be scared in approaching them. With crisis response, we triage every call that comes into the university and we decide on what actions have to be taken. We have communications line to Health Assured, which is a team of counsellors trained in all disciplines who are also available 24/7, 365 days a year. and they can also converse in different languages. We also have a safeguarding team who we will allocate any relevant incident to, and they will then link in with the students to accommodate any additional needs and assistance that they require. Now, Glasgow is a safe city. It's a low crime area, but it's not immune to any problems that any other big city has in the world. The area of the university is in the West End, and it's a particularly low crime area. The people in Glasgow are friendly. They like to talk, or as we say, blether. And we have a saying that people make Glasgow, and it is so very true. So no matter where you're from in the world, we'll welcome you into the Glasgow community. I mean, we even welcome people from Edinburgh. Next slide, please. You'll be pleased to know I've only 2 slides. So to keep everyone on campus safe, we use the Safe Zone app, which is, if pressed, provides an instantaneous response from security. And we encourage everyone in the university, staff and students to download and register the app. It can be downloaded for free and used worldwide, and is activated by pressing one of the 4 buttons shown: the yellow button for the Wellbeing Assistance, the Health Assured line, the green for First Aid, red for Emergency, and blue for Inquiries. It also provides a check-in button where you can, if you wish, allow yourself to be shown in the geomap in the control room. And I want you to know we cannot see you unless you either check in or you press one of the buttons where you're requiring help. There is also a lone working function, which can be activated for as many hours as you feel you need when you're lone working. And if that is not unactivated, then our staff will make sure that you're okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jerry. We are now going to go to Anusha to hear a little bit more about the student perspective.
So hi, I'm Anusha. I'm originally from San Francisco, but my dad is English, so I've kind of lived in the UK and the US like on and off my whole life. I'm originally applied to Glasgow for the 2020 intake, but decided not to firm or ensure the offer I had because I had originally applied to a course at the Dumfries campus, and absolutely no hate to Dumfries campus. It's a gorgeous campus, but I'm a city girl, and I just visited, and I decided that I wanted to attend university in a city. And then COVID hit the world, and I wasn't able to sit my international baccalaureate exams, and the results that the IB exam board awarded me didn't allow me to meet my firm or insurance choice. Obviously, hectic day, full of emotions, insanity hit, but I applied. It was kind of a blessing in disguise, as I was able to apply to a course I actually liked better here at this Glasgow campus in the city, of course. And I was really enthralled by it and excited to explore it more. I was also considering Queen Mary and Exeter as well for geography, but ultimately the city of Glasgow and the way we have 4 student-run bodies, 2 of which are student unions, really sold Glasgow for me over the other 2. According to the Time Out 2022, Glasgow was voted the friendliest and second most affordable city in the world. So that kind of just gives you a little insight into how great of a city Glasgow is. Go to the next slide, please. My favorite things about Glasgow, like Jerry said, the people. Glasgow's the most welcoming city I've ever been to in my life. Even if you look a bit lost on the street, someone will come up to you and try and help you. You don't even have to ask. We have some of the best cafes, bars, and food around. Over the summer, after classes end, me and my friends always had a goal to try all the new places that we somehow hadn't been to in the 4 years. On the weekends. I love the West End. It's such a unique aspect of our campus that we're a campus-based university within a city, and the universities kind of just engulf the West End everywhere, from the high streets to the campus. Students just dominate the area. We work in the shops. The shops are for us. All the pubs are filled with students all the time. It's just a really great sense of community. Glasgow is one of the best music scenes in the world. It's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site for music. We have some iconic music venues like the Barras, King Tut's, the Hydro. So there's always something happening. There's over 130 gigs or comedy shows in Glasgow a week, so there's always something to do. We even have a gig venue on campus. The shopping scene's great. Like I said, the university campus is in such a great location and so accessible to so much green space. We're just adjacent to Kelvin Grove Park. And then, of course, my ultimate favorite is the Young Scot card. You just need a permanent address in Glasgow. So as soon as you move to Glasgow, you get free travel until you're 22. It was the worst day of my life when I turned 22 and I couldn't have free bus travel around Scotland anymore. But if I could just teleport back to 18-year-old me 4 years ago, I remember feeling quite embarrassed or ashamed that I didn't make my offers and that I had to go through clearing. But it's honestly a service that's so beneficial and so very easy and straightforward. And at first and foremost, is here to help us as students. But like I said, things played out exactly how everything was meant to be. I couldn't have asked for a better 4 years here. I've thrived at Glasgow. I got a first in my undergrad, and I've loved it so much that I'm staying on for my master's. I wouldn't want to go anywhere else. I remember on graduation day a couple months ago, me and my parents were like laughing and reflecting on the insanity that was August 2020 for me that day that I opened my results, and I was just like devastated that what I thought I wanted wasn't happening. But I swear some Mother Nature, higher power was looking out for me and was pushing me towards Glasgow, because honestly, I would not have been happy in any other course at any other university. Everything worked out so perfect. Glasgow feels like home, and I'm so thankful that clearing was an option for me when I thought my life was over, because everything worked out for the best. Yeah.
Anisha, thank you so much for sharing your experience and your perspective. That's so wonderful to hear all about your journey, and I'm sure that's going to help a lot of people who are going to watch this and listen. So thank you so much. I'm going to finish off the presentations now by just talking a little bit. You mentioned already the Dumfries campus. I'm going to talk about the Dumfries campus a little bit and tell you a little bit more about that. So we have 3 campuses at the University of Glasgow in Scotland, and the Dumfries campus is one of those 3. Something I love about the University of Glasgow is we really do have something for everyone. If you are a sticky girl like Anisha, then you can go to one of our campuses in Glasgow, in Gilmore Hill in the West End, or in Garth Cube as well in Glasgow. Or if you're looking for still a fantastic student experience, but somewhere a little bit quieter in the town of Dumfries, then you can come to our Dumfries campus, which is home to the School of Social and Environmental Sustainability. So here in Dumfries, we typically welcome staff and students from around the world, from more than 40 countries every single year. We are surrounded by Dumfries and Galloway, which is in southwest Scotland, about 75 miles south from the city of Glasgow. And it's what we call our living laboratory surrounding our campus. So this includes our teaching garden, which you can see on your screen right now, which is right at our back doorstep and is used for learning, teaching and research. But it also includes the wider region as a whole. So we have everything from forests, agriculture, rivers, coast. We have a UNESCO biosphere, a dark sky forest, all right on our doorstep, which is why all of our wonderful programs at the School of Social and Environmental Sustainability are based in Dumfries. We make very good use of this living laboratory. We also pride ourselves on having smaller class sizes and a real close-knit community here in Dumfries. So you're getting much more one-on-one time with your lecturers, with your tutors, or with your friends and your peers in your class as well. And of course, our academics are among the top researchers in their fields. So you're going to be learning from some truly fantastic people in our specialist subject areas, which are education, environment, sustainable development, and tourism. And we'll head over to the next slide, please. So there'll be lots of opportunities for you to look out for on clearing. I wanted to highlight just a few that you may come across when you're looking for things to apply for during clearing. Some of our programs include our BSc in Environmental Science and Sustainability, which is a 4-year program. It's accredited by the Institution of Environmental Sciences. It places fieldwork and practical experience right at its very core. And as I mentioned earlier, our living laboratory, it makes very good use of this and the diverse surrounding landscapes as dynamic kind of learning environments for this program. So very industry focused, hands-on, out in the field at all times. Next, we have our MA Global Sustainable Development Programme, again a 4-year programme. It explores economic, environmental and social challenges and the kind of opportunities that are arising from the need to reduce global inequalities while limiting threats to the planet's life and support systems. So this programme really is perfect for people who are looking to play their part in protecting the planet and trying to achieve those sustainable development goals as well. We also have some opportunities in education. So our primary education with teaching qualification programme is a 4-year programme approved by the General Teaching Council for Scotland and is benchmarked against the very highest standards of excellence. You're not just going to learn how to teach, you're going to graduate with a full comprehensive understanding of how children actually learn, grow and develop as well. And you have placements right from first year with this programme. And then finally, we also I want to talk about our PGDE in secondary STEM subjects. So you'll be able to build upon your subject expertise in science, technology, engineering or mathematics in this General Teaching Council for Scotland accredited qualification. And this very much combines classroom learning with comprehensive placements throughout the whole region of Dumfries and Galway to help you develop a career in STEM teaching within secondary schools. So just a quick snapshot there of some of the programmes that we have on offer in Dumfries that I wanted to highlight. If you have any questions at all, please feel free to ask and reach out. We are more than happy to help with anything that you may need. So thank you so much for everyone's presentations. We are going to now move on to some questions. We'll see what we have here and we'll go through for each of our panel members. So I believe we have a question first for Ellen, and that is, will a clearing applicant have accommodation sites to choose from, or is it only one site that is reserved for clearing?
Okay, thank you for that.
Thank you.
So when you go on to the clearing application type, as I said, it's clearing Glasgow or clearing Dumfries. Clearing Glasgow, you would be asked to make 6 preferences in your accommodation application. Now that is not 6 different residences, because for example, at Morano Street, we have large flats and small flats. And at Cairncross House, we have twin rooms, single standard rooms, or large single standard. So each of those could be classed as a preference. So you select 6 preferences. In Dumfries, you just pick Dumfries clearing. All the rooms at Dumfries are all the same price and they're all ensuite rooms. So there's a standard there. But basically, yes, we have spaces throughout the portfolio for clearing applicants. And again, I know Anusha kind of referred to this, maybe you think there might be a bit of a stigma or something about coming through clearing. On arrival weekend, absolutely nobody knows. Everybody's applied the same way and allocated accommodation. So it's not that we house all clearing applicants together.
Thank you so much. And so I suppose following on from that a little bit, Anusha, how did you find the accommodation kind of application process from a student's perspective?
Yeah, from what I can remember, it was very easy. I think once my offer was confirmed, then kind of the next communication from the university was to apply for accommodation. And it was made clear to me that it was kind of done on a rolling basis and that was best to get it in as soon as possible. So I think I did it like the moment I clicked, yes, I want to come here. Just ranked my preferences. I got my first choice. So yeah, really was no issue at all. Very easy.
That's brilliant to hear. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. Okie doke, we have another question here for Kirsten this time. Okay, so if my son, daughter or loved one has not previously applied to a university via UCAS, can they still apply through clearing?
Absolutely. There's no requirement to already be enrolled in UCAS to apply through clearing. You would make the application through our website as I've described, and all of your interaction will be with University of Glasgow. If you do want to accept our offer, University of Glasgow will actually enrol you in UCAS on your behalf. So we will use all of the details that you've provided us with, and we will enrol you into UCAS. That will allow you access to all of the University of Glasgow systems to move forward in the registration and enrolment process. There's no additional cost to you, and there's no requirement for you to interact with UCAS. We will take care of all of that, but strongly recommend you to apply whether you've previously applied through UCAS or not.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. And we have another question here for Anusha this time. And you touched on this a little bit already. You were kind of reflecting on graduation day and talking with your parents, but coming through clearing, did your parents have any kind of concerns or apprehensions about you applying to a university that was, well, very far away from where you were?
It was always my plan to come to the UK for university. My dad's side of the family's all in the UK, so it wasn't really like I was coming that far, even though I was. So yeah, no, very supportive. If anything, if it hadn't worked out, I think I would have been even more upset if I hadn't have come to the UK. But yeah, no, totally fine in that regard.
No, that's great. Thank you so much. Okie doke. We have a question here for Jerry. And we've touched on this again already, but it's great to talk about this a little bit more. So is Glasgow safe as a city? What is life like around the campus?
Thanks, Amy. I want to kind of answer that in a kind of personal way. I mean, the campus is a very happy place. You know, it always comes across a very happy place. People always appear to be happy. There's not many problems that we get. I mean, safety is our top priority. It's my top priority. I mean, I'm dedicated to fostering a safe environment. Personally, Glasgow's my city. I love my city. I was born, lived, worked all my life in and around the Glasgow area. I've been at the university for over 8 years, and the university is a really nice place. People like the environment they're in. They like to walk about, and I think that makes people feel happy. Before I was at the university, I worked in law enforcement in the Glasgow area as a detective for over 30 years. So I know the city. I have a deep commitment to safeguarding and the well-being of others. And I hope that comes through as how the campus is a safe, secure place. A number of years ago, don't get me wrong, a number of years ago, Glasgow wasn't considered to be a safe city, a good number of years ago, but we ran regeneration and we set up the Gangs Task Force and violence reduction units and the police, and we brought in some laws and legislation. It turned it around, and Glasgow is now one of the friendliest cities in the world. And that was seen about 10 years ago when it hosted the Commonwealth Games. And that really brought Glasgow to the fore, and it showed people how friendly the people of Glasgow really are.
Thank you so much. And I'd love to add, just from a Dumfries perspective as well, I mean, that feeling of safety and security really does extend to our campus and throughout Dumfries as a town as well. I've never felt more safe, you know, in the town of Dumfries and around our campus as well. You have a real strong presence of, you know, kind of University of Glasgow, and you know kind of exactly who everyone is, you know where you are, and having that Safe Zone app as well is a real kind of just reassurance in the back of your mind. You know you're kind of you've got that if you ever need. So I think, yeah, certainly in Dumfries is the kind of close-knit community that we are, and slightly smaller numbers as well. You really do get to know everyone so well, and I certainly have never had any issues with feeling like walking about a campus or heading to halls or anything like that. Always feeling very safe and secure where we are. So
you know, I do come down to Dumfries as well, Amy. You know, and Dumfries is a lovely place. It's a great place, you know, and you know the community in Dumfries is you know another great place to go, and people always seem happy and delighted to be there. You know, it's a great place. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's lovely. Thank you so much. That's brilliant. Okay, we have a question here for Chris. When will teaching begin, and what will the first week look like?
Okay, this year teaching begins on Monday the 23rd of September. That's teaching week 1. So as Kirsten mentioned in her talk, the welcome week is the week prior to that. It starts on the 16th of September. You might call it Freshers Week. That's the week where there's a lot of orientation, there's lots of induction sessions that are running throughout that week so that students start to get to know the campus that they're on. They get to know the names of the buildings, they get to know how you can move from one to the other. I will add, there is another app, and I don't mean to have app overload, but the UofG Life app, no matter where you are on whichever campus, your phone can tell you where you are and where the building your next class is in, and it takes you to the doorstep of the next building. So it is incredibly useful as our students get to know the campus and get to find out what's going on. In that welcome week, there's also the opportunities around clubs and societies and the other opportunities that come as our students. But teaching begins then on Monday, the 23rd of September. What that looks like, or what that first week looks like, is largely around setting expectations and clarifying how the course is going to run. Most of our students will have up to 3 courses that they'll be taking, and normally they'll have 1 lecture per day for each course. Usually by week 2, things like lab classes or tutorials or seminars or small group teaching is also starting to add into that timetable. But it's normal that you would have 3 1-hour lectures each day. You'll have access to your timetable throughout on that app, and you'll be able to start to figure out the campus and figure out commonly where your classes are going to be and move from there. But teaching week 1 is largely about setting the scene, setting the context for what the course is going to try and deliver, but also making sure that our students know what's expected of them and what they can expect of their staff. And ultimately just setting up lines of communication so they know who to talk to, they know who to ask, they know where to go for their next class, and we take it from there. Thank you.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. And just to add from the Dumfries perspective, exactly the same. We have a fantastic programme of events kicking off from Monday the 16th of September. So much going on with the launch of our brand new student hub at the Dumfries campus. Our new student experience team as well, they're so excited to get going. We have so many events planned, including, you know, the really important stuff like making sure your IT is all set up properly, making sure that you can find your way around the campus, that you can find your way to your classes, and meet your lecturers, meet your academic team and your advisors as well. But so much of that really important, fun, kind of social stuff as well, getting to know your classmates, getting to know campus life a little bit and student life. So a really fantastic programme for all of our campuses starting on the 16th of September. So very much looking forward to that. But thank you so much. We have our next question here, which is going to, let's see, it's going to Ellen. Okay, after my son, daughter or loved one receives their clearing offer, how long do they have to apply for accommodation?
Okay, thank you. We would ask that you apply for accommodation by the 25th of August, just so we can get everything processed for you. On receipt of your accommodation application, we would look to be turning around and getting an offer out to you within the week. We've talked several times about Welcome Week starting on the 16th of September. Move-in weekend for accommodation is from Friday the 13th of September. So the idea is you move into accommodation that weekend, and then you're here in time for all the Welcome Week activities at both Glasgow and Dumfries. I would also like to add about the UofG Life app. I believe you can also look up where you can find your nearest cup of coffee, which is also a key priority in Welcome Week when we're all very busy. So that would be my top tip for UofG Life app. So please apply for accommodation by the 25th of August for clearing applicants.
That is brilliant. Thank you. And an excellent top tip as well. Thank you so much. Okie doke. Our next question here is actually for Anusha. So still on the accommodation theme, moving on from first year, how did you find getting accommodation after first year in Glasgow?
Yeah, my experience was really easy. That's not the same for everyone. I definitely have friends who have struggled with the housing crisis, but basically around January, February of first year, I kind of decided, or as a group, decided who I was going to live with in second year. Maybe around like March time, we started looking for flats. What's great about Scotland is that you don't sign like your classic year-long lease. You pay month to month, and you just have to let your landlord know like 30 days before you want to move out. So we found a flat maybe, I want to say around May. They held it for us until July. We started paying in July, and then we moved in. Everyone kind of started moving in from July until the second year started in September. And then after that, the way kind of I would say people find flats after is just by word of mouth. Like I just swapped flats with another group of friends. So that happens a lot. But websites like Rightmove, I'm not sure. Rightmove is one I would mostly use, are great for finding flats around Glasgow. I know the SRC can help a lot with any accommodation issues. But yeah, my experience is really seamless. I've been in so I swapped flats with some friends, and then I've been in that flat since third year. So this will now be my third year living in this flat. Some people move every year. Some people stay in the same flat their entire university life. But I think if you just ask for help, there's help around. But like for someone like me, I had no issue. Yeah, very easy.
That's brilliant. Thank you so much. And definitely resonates with kind of the experiences of students in Dumfries as well. You know, I know people who have had a different flat every year, some who have gone into a house share and then their own flat, some who have gone into a house share right from second year and stayed in that right the way through their journey. So there's lots of support available. You're absolutely right. There's so much support available. And we certainly have kind of, you know, advice and support on our web pages that people can have a little look at as well. If you're looking to rent or to look privately, if you're looking for university accommodation, there's lots of advice there. And again, in Dumfries, we have our student support services team and our student experience teams on campus who are ready and willing to help you if you have any problems whatsoever. So that's great. Thank you so much. Okay, next question now is for Jerry. And it is, with SafeZone, so our SafeZone app, do students only have access to it while they are on campus?
No, and it's funny you should ask that question, Amy, because I've just returned from Edinburgh this afternoon there at a SafeZone seminar and meetings with other SafeZone users. SafeZone can be used worldwide, and we are in a global SafeZone alliance. And to let you understand what that means, we'll take the local area. You know, we've got plenty of universities in Scotland, say, just for example. So we're in an alliance with other universities in Edinburgh and the other universities in Glasgow, Aberdeen, Dundee. Whereas if a student from, say, Aberdeen was in Glasgow and something happened to them, they pressed the SafeZone app, it would come to our security so we could go and deal with that. And the same for us. If one of our students was in Aberdeen and they pressed the SafeZone app, they would get help from them. To let you understand, it can be used worldwide. What we do is if an incident happens somewhere, we'll send out what we call a mass notification to everybody who's in that area. And we would tell them, look, this has happened in such and such a place. Please stay away from there. Check in, let us know you're okay. And the person would check in and then we would know they're okay. Also, for example, I was recently, just a couple of weeks ago, I was over in Boston there and I was doing a presentation to parents about who have got children coming to the university, and I was showing them the SafeZone app and I pressed it and got through to our guys at the university, and then they spoke to me on the loudspeaker on the phone, so it showed them how it actually really works, and it does work really well. And yes, it can be used anywhere in the world.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And great to have that peace of mind as well, for sure, when you're traveling about. So brilliant. Thank you. I think we have time for one final question, and this one is going to Kirsten. So what do you recommend students have readily available on results day? Do you have any top tips for us?
I've got a few tips, and I think all of them are just about being prepared and being prepared to ask the right questions so that you are making decisions based on the fullest possible information set you can. So before results day and before the emotions of what may happen on results day, do create a plan. Think about universities that you may want to contact. Think about geographical locations that you would be happy to base yourself for 4 years or maybe even more. And think about different university types you're interested in. Are you a city person? Would you like that more campus-based countryside feel? And are there any alternative courses that you would consider if you don't quite meet the grade potential for your first choice? So if the worst happens, have a plan ready in advance. As I've described before, full disclosure is really important. We want to know everything possible about all of the qualifications you've achieved to date. It may be that you're feeling a little down or despondent about the results you've achieved, but it's good for us to understand everything. It may be that we would take things into account that you wouldn't think we would. So tell us everything about your qualifications and we'll use that holistic overview to make our decision. Be prepared to engage. So clearing is typically a phone-based operation, and lots of us don't use the phone that much nowadays. So be prepared to engage on the phone, but do note that most universities will have multiple ways to engage. So there very likely are live chat or social media options that you can interact with too. If you do pick up the phone, please be reassured that anyone you're going to speak to understands the situation you're in on results day. You're anxious, news maybe hasn't gone your way, and it's challenging for you. You've got to maybe change that life plan in a matter of a couple of days. So they're there to make things as simple for you as possible. So please feel reassured if you do pick up the phone. Any university is going to make this a simple process for you. do ask the questions. This is a huge life-changing decision that you're going to make. So you want to make sure if there are any concerns, queries, or if parents have concerns or queries, all of those are answered before you take the plunge and accept an offer. So it could be that you are participating in one-to-one calls, it could be live chats, it could be webinars, it could be coming to visit us on campus. Please use all the resources that universities make available and just do everything you can to have everything answered, and reassure yourself as best you can, because in a couple of weeks, you're actually going to be moving and starting study. And I think just the last thing is to be clear that most clearing offers do come with an expiration. But do make sure you take time to consider your options. We at Glasgow will always give you around 48 hours, but a lot of institutions will be happy to extend these deadlines if it's important to you to potentially visit before you make a decision. So you can contact universities for that too. And think about everything that's part of student life. It's not just about the course and I want to do this particular course. Is it the right accommodation for you? Is it the right student life? Is the city right for you? Make sure you consider all of these options so that you're making the best and most informed choice possible. And we very much hope that you do accept Glasgow and do join us here in Team UofG.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That is all we have time for today. I really appreciate everyone who has joined us for this session. We really hope that it has been useful for you and gave you a really good understanding of how, as parents, as guardians, you can play a real supporting role during the clearing process. So we are now open for clearing vacancies. For more information, please head over to our clearing webpage. It's gla.ac.uk/study/clearing/apply. Thank you so much for listening. We very much hope to see your son, daughter, or loved one here with us at Team UofG in September. And we'll say bye for now. Thank you.